And so Nathan grabbed hold of the game with his running game, with a busted shoulder. We mentioned it in there, we were talking. Said Nathan's starting to run the footy a bit now.
11 runs for 98 metres, which is nearly unheard of for a halfback. That's a game manager as well, you know. So, and he's got his customary 15 tackles, you know, with the busted shoulder, you know, and then obviously it was a good decision by the coach to bring him off and rest him. But yeah, he's something special. And I also think, based on that performance, they've got a bit of improvement in Penrith, and that's a good thing going into a grand final, in my opinion. I just feel that they need to pick it up a bit, and I think they all identify that as well. The Storm were really good. They're very clinical last night. So
Storm almost looked the finished product last night.
Last night.
But the Penrith's best was a long way from that.
I agree. So it'd be interesting to see how the coaches, you know, apply their obviously wisdom and what the senior player group lead through the week, because Penrith know they can play better than that, and Storm are on a bit of a high at the moment, a bit of a roll, and they've got to keep that quality of performance up. And it comes from training, there's no doubt about that. You know, training through the week is really important, but I like a bit of clunkiness before a grand final.
You don't mind leaving yourself just a little bit of room for improvement.
Exactly right. So, you know, a bit of rousing that, you know, in the dressing rooms around, they could have done these things a bit better.
And Cronulla made it uncomfortable.
They did.
That was part of that. They turned up. They weren't going to let Penrith find their rhythm.
Well, the Cronulla have been one of the best defensive sides in the competition all season, and they showed that tonight. And the conditions suited that. They were able to squeeze their line up. But there was moments of brilliance. The pass, this one from Nathan Cleary, well, it started the brilliant moments. He came up with the 40-20 that got them down there. Later on, an absolutely beautiful try there for Paul Alamotti. It's the same shape at the end of the night, which is where Jerome Blue-White kicks for Liam Martin. But this was a big moment for Cronulla. They had a lot of possession down on Penrith's line. Penrith had come up with a few errors and invited them down, and Cronulla can hurt you. They've got individuals that can hurt you. And it was a brilliant piece of play from Sione Katoa to get it down. This was the killer blow, though, I thought, Brandy, when Nathan Cleary landed this kick across field.
Just absolutely brilliant. To get to, go back down the short side. Lindsay Smith did a good job to keep the ball alive. Jerome combined with Nathan. Then Nathan, again, just how quickly he does realise what's happening and where the space is. He's always looking for space, whether it's him or whether it's one of his teammates. But the kick was beautiful out to Brian To'o. Then they opened them up through Cleary and Edwards. And then again, Nathan very quickly realised where the damage was going to be done and got the ball as quickly as possible out there to Alamotti.
So, that kick from obviously Cleary to To'o was a defining moment. But just before that, we had Kaufusi drop a ball, made an error when they just scored the try. So, you know, I think that was a turning moment. That's what I mentioned before around that last 20 minutes. After Kaufusi dropped that ball, then they
just scored the try too.
They just scored the try. Exactly right.
Katoa
was the next set.
Yeah,
the next set.
60th minute. Katoa scores. Cronulla on the run, on the move. The poor pass from Nico to.
It was pressure pass.
Pressure pass in the wet. He drops the ball. Brian To'o scored in the 63rd minute. So it was 60 minute try to Katoa, 63rd minute to To'o.
So that was the defining moment in the game.
The quickly turnaround.
Exactly. Then the spine just got their act together and come up with some special moments for the team to win the game.
Well, Nathan Cleary, we saw that he got a standing ovation when he left the field with 5 minutes to go, and deservedly so. Brandy, tell us a little bit about now his preparation, and we know how ultra-professional he is, but his mind would have already snapped into grand final mode, probably even now.
Look, and I was, Vonnie, obviously, you know, I was concerned when he grabbed that shoulder, when he made that tackle down in this far corner in the second half. But he'll manage it, and I was very pleased to see how he was shaking hands with players after the game.
It wasn't dead arm.
No,
it was a useful
and that
arm.
was the arm. That's the shoulder that's troubling him. He was the high-fiving, and I thought, oh well, that is a good sign. I guess it should be no surprise to us that he will grab the shoulder every now and then, and we haven't seen it until late in this game because it did pop out, and it is, you know, it's a problem. It's not 100%.
Is he training most days with the team? Do you know?
Yeah, he's training, Mel. Yeah.
So Ivan gave a little bit more detail about this shoulder and just saying Nathan has learned to live, play and train with it. He's forced himself to become more comfortable with it until the surgery can happen. So he's just living and dealing with it the best he can and managing it. as best he can.
Well, he dealt with it in 21, and the shoulder in 21 was a lot worse than what this one is.
Yeah.
That was hanging on by a thread. That one, it was. This one certainly needs to be fixed up post-season, post the end of the season. But he hurt it in the pre-season, so he was dealing with it pre-season before the season got underway. It wasn't any problems throughout the year, but he was dealing with it, and then picked up that injury in round 24. This was the tackle here, where he grabbed it. Now, I guess, I think if it was any more serious, he would have come immediately off the field.
Yeah.
The fact that he stayed on the field and continued to make some tackles and run the ball, it was still minutes after this that Ivan did pull him off. So that gives me a little bit of hope that it's not much worse than what it was coming into today's game.
Given he has had so much time out this season, Mal, it hasn't gone to plan, but he's made sure that when he has turned up in the moments, he is ready, he hits the ground running, and he is everything that you need from your halfback. You've experienced a long time out with your own injuries. How does it alter your mindset, and what perspective does it give you once you are back?
I read an article, and it probably holds true for me as well. You sort of got this feeling that you're letting your teammates down. You're not out there, you're not in the battle with them, you're not helping them, you can't make a difference. And what I did, I just trained harder than I ever trained in my whole life, So obviously Nathan's got that DNA in him. He loves, he's a student of the game, obviously, but he also trains very hard and works on his skills and works on his kicking, So he's probably the ultimate professional when he comes to those sort of things. So that's why I asked Brandy about, does he train, So because obviously that's important for the cohesion of the footy team, but because he's such an important cog. And he's a very important player, obviously, to win a grand final next week. So I don't think it's a concern. I mean, he handles it. He's tough.
Yeah.
And we've seen that time and time again over the years, not just this year, but over the years. So he'll turn up and he'll play the best of his ability, and he'll try to make a difference in their team next week.